Take a seat, take a breath. Got a feed that decides life and death. Every chart is a mountain, a meme, a decree. Is this genius or mass lunacy? Stroll with me down this mentality, where a frog with sunglasses screams we're early endlessly. Oh, see, bulls and bears and fantasy, every post's a prophecy. It's nothing make the beast. If you want to read what passes for a master plan, simply click and flick your thumb across this broken land. Want to know which way the winds of crypto might just be? Go scroll me. One says up, only friends. Next says this is how it ends. Someone's calling the top, someone's buying the dip, someone's typing a thread as their last relationship slips. Scroll with me through the fear and ecstasy, where a chart in crayon gets 1,000 hearts for free. You'll see every hot take, every plea. I was right in 23. Trust the line, ignore the spreadsheet. If you want to gauge if hope or panic's in command, if they're building castles or just castles in the sand, want to test if we're all early or just fantasy? Slow with me. Is it signal? Is it noise? Are we traders? Are we toys? Every candle, every coin is a cult you can join. Scroll with me, let the chaos be our key. Read the mood like it's a map to some great mystery. You'll see faith and doubt and harmony. I'm all into, I'm set free. In one day, in one same tweet. If you want to know if folks are brave or out of time, if they're quietly convicted or have simply lost their minds, then my friend, you found the perfect place to start this stream. So scroll with me.
Ba ba ba. G scroll. G scroll. Dude, we've got Frey in the chat. G scrolling and a G scroll to you, good sir. Dude, it is Friday, May 29th. My name is Dude Lifts. This is Scroll with Me. This is where you and I, we scroll the timeline together. We try to understand the vibes. We try to separate the true from the false. We're doing all the things they claim to do, right? They claim to monitor the situation. They claim to identify the market bubbles. They claim many things. We're actually doing it. You know what I mean? We're monitoring all the situations in real time. Monty's in the chat, making friends in the comments. He understands what we're doing here, right? But that's what we're trying to do. We're scanning the timeline. We're separating the true from the false. We're seeding out the wheat from the chaff, whatever you want to call it. Now, one thing that I've been bad at is calling out the vibes ahead of time and then revisiting that prediction. If we're predicting here, it's not a prediction market, could be, but it's not. So vibes. So here's my thing. So we got all these degen NFT mints that are popping off. People are making a 4x on them, whatever. You've got normies going up. You've got beta plays and normies, NPCs on chain pumping. And so I would say those vibes are up. You've got BankerBot making more, in fees than Pump Fun. I don't know if that's bullish for the entire ecosystem or bearish for Pump. Is Pump an indicator of meme coin health overall? I don't know. So as far as overall vibe predictions, I'm going to say overall vibe predictions are, this is so tough because you've got the stock market ripping. You've got SpaceX IPO about to mint, 50, 100 millionaires. Crypto majors down bad. NFTs up good-ish. So I'm going to say the vibe on the timeline is going to be good because there's optimism in the air, possibly a bottom forming on the majors. I'll leave it at that. But I got 35 posts on deck. 1 year since Popkins. Shout out to Klinos. Let's give a little refresh so we get those freshy tweets for us to investigate. All right. Let's see what Andrew Forte has to say. There are 3 hiring buckets in crypto. Degenerate team that hire anyone for anything. Corporate and embedded in content and culture, hiring directly from CT. Corporate team that requires 3 to 5 years of B2B enterprise and SaaS or finance hiring traditionally. Or all 3. No, JK, LOL. Dude, CryptoKitties out here posting. Love it. Bored Ape Yacht Club, NBA basketball talk. Okay, yeah. If you're a sports guy, then this probably goes incredibly hard. But as I am not. Let's see here. Okay, Meebits football trading card packs coming this summer. Inside each pack, 5 Meebits football cards, 1 Meebit in an OpenSea or ApeChain Hub kit, 1 QR code for other side meta, coming to IRL events in Lisbon, NYC. Dude, the Meebits football thing is so funny to me because I don't completely understand it. But what I respect about it is I feel like Sergio likes soccer. It's just like we do soccer now. Now, granted, it's genius in that it's like a growth sector, like football is growing across the globe. And so like it's a good space to be building in. It's just not what I would have expected. But it seems like his community has like either kind of top down has created like a self-selection or like a selection bias. I imagine a lot of like the top holders probably like football at this point. That's just like the way it is. So it's interesting how that works. Oh yeah, I saw this roller coaster break down. I mean, they got him off, right? I mean, stats is like we're not riding a roller coaster. I mean, it's like they got him off. Like what are you gonna do? Dude, okay, let's see what this says. No roller coasters, helicopters, caves of any form, deep under. I mean, this is true. All these kind of volunteer activities. I'm not gonna lie, dude. I used to go caving relatively often as a younger person, and I mean, we're not talking professionally. We're talking scrappy. I mean, my spine is shuddering at some of the shit that I did in caves. I went in shit called the birth canal, the devil's butthole. I did it all. I was contorting my body into godforsaken shapes, risking life and limb, or what? I honestly have no idea. I'm so grateful that I didn't die. It's just absurd. So yeah, I won't be doing that anymore because as an adult, your boy has developed claustrophobia because that's what happens, I guess, when you get over 30. So that's cool. Can barely do roller coasters anymore. I still do them. But if you give me one of those fucking clamp down fucking thing, I gotta meditate. I gotta bust out all the tools. Just being honest, gotta keep it real. Gonna keep it real. Harry Potter ride in Japan traumatized me, and I've been claustrophobic ever since. So hey, what are you going to do? I don't make the rules, Uber has launched Uber Drift. There is no way. Oh, I guess it's probably real. That's incredible. Thanks, we'll have to see. Loki says, I used to show NFTs to my friends on Facebook. Look back at that Goblin Town full of price. Damn, it's so nostalgic. Dude, I saw the Goblin Town account and I get a care package from AJT from the mayor of Goblin Town. So great. So great. And what was it? There was a tweet the other day that was like charts are down bad, like majors are down bad. And Goblin Town quote tweeted and was just like, welcome to Goblin Town. And I was like, fuck yeah. Hell yeah. Dude, let's see what Pope Leo has to say. First off, leading with the hashtag is so diabolical. I loved that tweet that someone the other day was like, hey, Holy Father, like make sure not to put a link in your first tweet or it might be deboosted. It's not true, but was hilarious. And like that was an incredible ratio. So let's see what Pope Leo says. Hashtag AI can be a valuable tool, and at the same time, it calls for a measured and vigilant approach. The speed and simplicity in which practical assistance can be accessed undoubtedly makes life easier, yet they can also encourage excessive reliance in the search for ready-made answers and weaken personal creativity and judgment. I mean, That's not incorrect. It's not incorrect. Um, so, but I mean, and I actually, I'm not going to say that I've read the entire encyclical. It's like 235 pages. The only thing that I would say about this specifically is that, like, saying that we will become reliant on new technology is actually a pretty vanilla statement if you think about it. That's true for a lot of technology. So I don't know what to do with that. I thought a lot of what the Pope was talking about in the encyclical was fairly interesting. He talked about kind of quality and what does it mean to be a human? Because I think a lot of the conversations that I've had with like friends and family, because they look at me and they're like AI, and I'm like, "Oh, okay, here we go. Is like, well, what happens when it takes all of our jobs? They're almost like it's inevitable; it'll happen. So at least they're on board with that. But they're like, what will we do? And I'm like, well, we'll rediscover what it means like to be human. What does it mean? We weren't made to like toil away in these careers. I'm guessing, we're made to have purpose and belonging. And so we'll have to answer those kind of fundamental questions as like Maslow's hierarchy of needs without the concept of a job, if you will. It doesn't mean that we won't have a purpose or a role in this world. And so I thought that that was a fairly interesting aspect of this encyclical. Is it talk about what does it mean to be a human? So very cool. Jack threw down some dice. Oh yeah, Jack. Congrats to Clanosaurus again on the 1 year anniversary, Popkins. Let's see here. BTC ETH price action has sentiment on the timeline not the greatest. Okay, so we've got the vibe prediction here. You know what is the greatest? Collecting shit you like. Yeah. Yeah, man. Feels good, man. Feels good, man. Dude, shout out to everybody who's watching. We got like 25 folks watching. We got people in the chat. Say what's up. Evolved said GM dudes. G scroll to you, good sir. So appreciate everyone who's tuning in and listening to me ramble, because I would say that's why I do it, but I would literally do this with 0 people watching because I'm an insane person. But it makes it so much better that we can do it together. So here we go. Tried this prompting and got Ted Lasso. What? That's really funny. I can see that. I can see that. I can see that. Oh my gosh, RB is Tony Stark. Hilarious. Yeah, first 500 employees at SpaceX at least made 100 mil. Now, yeah, it's like, do they sell? I mean, I don't think that's typically how they're not gonna like straight cash out. Maybe they will. I mean, I don't think that's typically how it works. Um, dude, Frey says my For You page is just a Bezos rocket blowing up 1,000 times. I saw that yesterday. Well, I saw Bezos's post. It was like everybody's okay, everyone's accounted for, and I was like, sir, what the fuck happened? Then went to the comments and someone was like, rocket exploded. And I watched it. Now, someone else, this is why Twitter is incredible. I actually made I recorded a screen recording about this, but I didn't post it. It was, what was it? There was it was the shooting at the White House. God, I think last week or something. I heard it happened on X with light context. So then I went to the news, and it was like the most horrific experience. Like I was like going to Google News, clicking on articles, and it was like Ready Player One just pummeled with ads and like paywalls. I was like, oh my God. And then so I just went back to Twitter, found out the answer in 3 seconds. And it was like, oh, thanks. This is why I get my news on Twitter. But the Bezos rocket explosion. So same thing. Bezos posted, then someone in the comments provided context. So Twitter is amazing. But then someone gave this comparison. They were essentially saying in like gigawatt hours or however they measure blast power, how this compared to like a nuclear bomb, other explosions. And apparently it was like the largest accidental explosion maybe ever or something. And I was like, and it wasn't like not that far off from like a nuclear explosion. I was like, damn, that shit was wild. So yeah, so funny the timing. You have like SpaceX about to go public and mint to like a bajillion millionaires, and then Blue Origin has the largest explosion of all time. I mean, it's a comedy. Dago says, "Wow, I was scrolling X and suddenly a legend scrolling appeared." Dude, you're the legend for being in the chat. Thank you so much, sir. Has there been anything unhinged so far? Asked Evolved. Besides me, I don't know. I don't know. Let's see here. See you in Osaka, dude. These look sick. Congrats, David. David be on that grind. Oh, we got Crumbs here with a weekend bonus prompt. Your PFP, but immersed in fine art. Dude, look at the doodles surrounded by Mondrian. If you know, you know. If you know, you know. Aura looks like this. That's hilarious. So good. So TCG cards are trending now. Well, this guy Gary V. I mean that's a hook. Oh, dude, I remember this OG box because I was about to say I was like TCG cards are trending now. Okay, Dago says, "Yo, bud, what's up about OS agents?" I think you're probably talking about normies. And okay, so my understanding of normies, and I am not educated whatsoever, is that they're using an existing like ERC or EIP, whatever standard, and a new standard where they can essentially token gate agent skills. Like think of like a Claude skill or whatever. It says like, oh, only X person can use this skill. I think that is interesting and cool in that we're building in the right direction. I think that we should always be so Dago says, yeah, I mean, do you think agents will be the future of NFTs? No. Sorry. So here's my kind of I don't really have an issue with it per se, but I've seen a lot of interesting tech get built, and then I've seen it's like we're not solving a problem. I know that's a really I always kind of shit on people for saying like, what problem are you solving? Like, but there's a time and place for that in the sense that like uh it reminds me of when we're like, oh, we're gonna, use NFTs for ticketing. And I think we probably will still get there, maybe long term, but in the short term, no. In the way of this specific instance of agentic NFTs. Now, this is where it gets really like weird because it's like to me, I don't think they are actually agents. Someone please educate me if I'm wrong, because I made a agent NFT platform on Flow. I forget what it was even called. I think it was called Flow Claw because I could actually put the entire code of the agentic harness inside a data structure, which is an NFT, essentially. And so I don't think the entire agentic harness is within the code of the NFT itself. I could be wrong there. So it's like even the proposition that the NFTs are agents themselves feels a little bit like a misnomer. Once again, could be wrong. And like, is that entirely important that it's entirely on chain or not? Maybe, maybe not. Depends on who you ask. But then they talk about like, okay, everything the NFT. Okay, sorry, we're getting really in the weeds here. They talk about everything the NFT owns or has created goes with the NFT. This gets down to kind of very semantic, whatever. I think ownership is is like kind of a I'm getting really in the weeds here, so I apologize. Ownership is a very interesting concept in the same way that like your Ethereum NFTs, you don't actually have them in your wallet. They're not in your wallet. They are in a smart contract with the collection. And that there is now a pointer that says you're the only one that can manipulate this object or claim ownership over it or whatever. They are in a smart contract. They are not in your wallet. So maybe maybe I'm kind of talking myself out of it here, but like maybe this uses a similar concept of ownership. Like you own these skills, but they're not inside the NFT. You just have the right to access them. Now, this is all predicated on where I think this thing really falls apart is that I think coding skills are all commodities. It's like I can tell you, I vibe code quite a bit. I've only downloaded a skill. It was like when it first got started, like it was like, oh, skills. I can go to like the Claw Hub and get a new skill. I maybe did that twice, and now I just fucking get Claude to build me whatever I want. Like coding intelligence is a commodity, and so like to think that a skill is unique, for any period of meaningful time to me, or it has discrete value because of that, I think is a non-starter in my mind. Now, the only thing that I think that it could solve for is like a diversity problem in AI, like solving for randomness. Maybe if your NFT had like a personality that you personally crafted, because I think that actually gives you an advantage in the sense that like if all of AI agents are acting predictably because they are based on the same code, then randomness can be an advantage. All that being said, it's like that's where I'm kind of like it feels like a hammer looking for a nail. as opposed to solving for a real problem. Like I don't think that this in like people who are agentic builders are trying to solve for this. Like I haven't seen this come up. But Diego says, good take, sir. Maybe in the future the NFT could be the entry to a huge AI agent such as Doodle's AI, but you aren't going to own the agent. Yeah, so it's like having NFTs unlock things. Sure. I'm like, to me, this feels like it's good tech because price go up. That's to me my kind of take on it. And I don't mean to shit on anybody who's building in the space because I know a lot of smart people are, but I've seen a lot of smart people build a lot of shit over the time I've been in crypto. And there's a certain je ne sais quoi, like that's hard to describe of like when something is actually like tech that is actually useful, like something like Privy. Privy just put out deposit addresses for universal deposit addresses. It's a simple piece of technology, but if you go look at the comments, people like Harrison Pop Punk on Chain from Pumpcade was like, "Holy shit! I'm building my app. This solves a problem that I need. I'm using this today." Um, and that's right. I'm a tinkerer. I'm an experimenter, and so I'm like, we should do this. But I'm like, let's not fool ourselves. That's where I get a little bit, and that's part of it being financialized. Is like, we inherently have to say how valuable is this technology instead of being like how interesting or how fun or whatever. And so people find themselves asking themselves, like, is this the future of NFTs? And I'm not saying Dagos it's the right question because everybody's asking it. Because essentially, because we put a price on it, we're having to value it and saying, like, is this the future? Is this where everything is going? So and that may be an incredibly mid-curve take. There may be there's probably some truth in there, and the truth probably lies somewhere in the middle, as things usually do. So that's my take. Short-term pump on good tech. Long-term, maybe a couple killer app variations emerge out of it. I hope they do because they will push the space forward. But if you ask me, are agentic NFTs the future of NFTs in the way that storytelling NFTs, music NFTs, ticket NFTs were the future of NFTs? Then I would say no. Let's continue on. Wait, what the fuck? A home equity line of credit looping vault? Dude, I just love that sentence. That's insane. The vault maximizes yield by leveraging Hastrify's prime generated yield from lending operations backed by figure or originated HELOC collateral. Insane. Monty says, good take. Dude, I said 37,000 words. So I'm glad you got something out of it. And I tried to land the plane and summarize it, but I was processing it in real time because I've had several discussions about it over the past couple of days. And so I think I'm just trying to kind of formulate my own opinion on it. But and I'm typically very much an optimist, very much an on-chain accelerationist. And so I don't ever want to be like bearish on people experimenting. But I think when people are asking, is this the future? There's an inherent like, do you see this being more valuable question? And the reality is what's funny is whenever I mid-curve stuff, that's when it pumps. So maybe you should just trade against me as an inverse Kramer and buy it anyways. but that's my shit. All right, let's see here. Goblin, Gob morning. All right, let's give a little refresh because we've only got a couple minutes on the clock here because I was yapping for so long. Diego says, "Hey, dude, let's check my Mondrian AI. I think I saw your post earlier today. I'm pretty sure I liked it. So it was pretty funny. So let's see. Well, I never go off the timeline, but because you asked, let's go. Let's give a little. Let me see, Diego. Diego. Oh my gosh, Twitter chat is not showing me your full name. Put your full tag on there if you want me to go check it out. Otherwise, we'll go back to scrolling. So here we go here. Zoomer, the CFTC approves perps to operate and be offered to U.S. users. Okay, so here's the thing. Diego Espanol. Okay, Diego Armando. Okay, cool. So Diego Arm. There we go. Oh, dude, I was already following you. Twitter's fucking lying, dude. It's lying, bro. Let's see here. Keep scrolling. Dude, yes. See, I knew I already liked this shit, dude. I saw that. Yeah, what a banger. So legit. Love this. It reminds me, this like particular penguin reminds me of like Penguit. But yeah, this is awesome. Amazing, amazing work. Amazing work. Dude, look, north of Spain, making friends in the comments, the Dagos and Diegos. We love to see it. Last thing I'll say here is this CFTC approves perps to operate and be offered by US users. Dude, classic. Someone says, is that low enough? 27% interest? Fuck yeah, dude. If you know, you know. Classic Kalshi maneuver here. So CFTC approves perps to operate in US. Kalshi immediately puts out a tweet and goes, "We are the exclusive perps provider in the United States of America." They do this shit every time. They do it with the NHL, they do it with the UFC. And immediately I saw a Coinbase tweet that was like, "Yeah, we do perps as well." So it's like immediately at some point, Kalshi, you got to stop that, dude. The credibility. But maybe they don't care. I don't know. But with that, it is 9 a.m. So you know the vibes. I got a jet, but it has been a pleasure today. It is Friday, so I will see you all on Monday scrolling. But of course, until next time,